Well, I got something on my mind. Want to hear it? Here you go. Looking around on Facebook, YouTube last night, and there was another fatal shooting in Florida. A stand your ground law is what the man is standing on right now for his protection, who shot and killed an unarmed black man. So, this is how I read this story last night. Family pulls up to a convenience store, whatever store that is. I'm not going to nitpick about it. They pull up into the handicap lane. Okay. The man and the child, the little boy, gets out and goes into the store. The wife stays in the car, I think, with a baby. She's sitting there waiting for the family to come out of the store. Another guy, white guy, pulls up in another spot adjacent to that. He gets out, walks behind the car, checked the plate to see if it had a handicapped sticker on it. Sees that it did not. So it annoyed him. So he starts to badger and yell at the lady in the car, the black lady in the car. And he must have been pretty aggressive with it because she was yelling back. The husband must have heard it, and he comes out of the store, and he came out quick, and he sees this guy pointing at his wife and yelling at her. So automatically he shoves the guy to the ground. Bam! Push him right on the ground. It was an aggressive push. It was one of those pushes that don't talk to my wife like that. Right? It was one of those kind of pushes. So the guy fell, he falls to the ground, reached and pulled his weapon, and at that point he started pointing the weapon at the guy. So the guy saw that, saw him reaching, and he backed up and he started to turn, like to go away. And it took about 3 seconds before the guy decided to pull the trigger. You can see the reaction when the man got shot, when the black guy got shot. You can count up to about 3. And he had time, he was sitting there on the ground, pulled the weapon, and he watched the guy back off, and he started to turn. So in his mind, him sitting on the ground, he pissed off because he just got pushed on the ground by a black man in an aggressive way, and he figured he gonna get this nigga back. I'm not gonna let you get away with pushing me like that. And he had time to think, and he thought about it. Should I not? But he's getting away. Can't let him get away. So he decided to pull the trigger. Bam! One shot to the chest. Brother goes in the store, kneels down, passes away. In front of his family. Now this is my take on both ends. Was it a clear reason to kill a man? The way I saw it, it wasn't. Why I say that is because when he got shoved to the ground, it was a violent shove. It was one of them shoves that you don't talk to my wife like that type thing. But the man had time to figure in his mind, is he still under a threat or not? The threat came quick and it was over. Pushed to the ground, bam, didn't even take a freaking second. After that, brother backed off because he seen him drawing his weapon. So now the brother's like, okay, all right, you got a weapon, I don't, I'm backing off. I'm moving now. He started to move, still got shot. Okay. To stand your ground law in Florida is that if you feel like that you're under a threat, that your life is in danger, that you have the right for deadly force. Was his life in danger at that point? His life was at danger when he was woofing off at this woman and the husband came up. The husband could have knocked him clean out. He wouldn't have got shot. Just hauled off and bam! Knocked him cold. Wouldn't have been a gunshot. Brother would have been alive today. You see somebody out there yelling and arguing at your wife and your kid in the car. You know, a lot of people don't take that kindly. They're not going to be peaceful about it. No way, no how. Lucky brother didn't have a gun, because as you saw the video, when he got shot, if that brother had a gun, he could have pulled his weapon and squeezed off some shots on the guy on the ground too. They both could have been dead. All right, but being that it is what it is, that the brother was unarmed. Now, my take as far as the guy on the ground, the white guy on the ground shooting him, he had time to think. And he had made the decision within about 3 seconds to go ahead and kill the guy, because he wasn't going to let him get away with the push, which he shouldn't have been arguing at the man's wife like that anyway. Should have minded his damn business. So, I think that is wrong, because the brother didn't jump on him, because when he pushed him, the brother could have followed up and stomped on him before he even had a chance to reach for his gun. The brother wasn't that callous. He pushed him to get him out of his wife's face. That's what he did. Any real man probably would have went that route. Me per se. Now let me go on to the other side, because I really don't think that this stand your ground situation is justified. I really don't believe that it's justified in this case, because the man had time to think while he was sitting there. Was he actually being attacked? When he drew that weapon and backed that guy off, was he still under attack? Was his life being threatened at that moment? No, it was not. After that shove, he didn't receive any more punishment. The brother didn't jump on him and stomp him down to a pulp. Didn't do all that. So his life was not, at threat. Only time it really was is when he was arguing at that man's wife, and the brother approached him.
Take the exit on the right to US 220 South, then turn right.
And the brother approached him and shoved him to the ground. It could have been worse than that. At that second, the dude didn't see him. You know what I mean? The dude didn't see him coming. So he could have got knocked clean out. That would have been a whole different story. You would have read in the paper, black man attacks a white guy, knocked him out for arguing with his wife. Instead of, black man gets shot dead from a man that was arguing with his wife on the stand your ground law. This is what we read today. But now,
take the exit on the right to US 220 South, then turn right.
But me per se, I would have handled the situation differently, even though it would have angered me to violence to see this man arguing with my wife, regardless on where she parked the car, or maybe I parked the car. Now, if I would have approached that situation coming out of the store, first thing I would have got in between
turn right
him
on
and
US
my wife,
220 South.
She was still in the car, and then she came out after, I think, the brother pushed him to the ground. She got out of the car. I think they were. Yeah, I think that's how that were how she wound up getting out of the car.
Continue on ramp.
And they all backed off after the man was on the ground. They saw him reaching for a weapon. Another patron was walking up to the scene, and the wife was coming out of the car. And when they see him draw that weapon, the wife went back, and the other guy ran for cover, and the brother was the target. So he pretty much backed up and started to turn, but it was too late. The man had time to think if I'm going to shoot this man or not, and he decided to shoot him. So For me, I would have got in between them in the man's face. The way that he was yelling at my wife, I would have yelled at him the same way. Let him feel what that's like, first though. And definitely, my brim of my hat would have been touching his head. That's how close I would have been in his face so he could smell my breath while I'm telling him to get out my wife's face, man. Now, at that point, if he would have started pulling his weapon, I had two choices. Back up, run around the car, or start swinging on him when he reached. When he reached, just start trying to knock his brains out. That's about the only two options you had. You know? Flight or fight. Right? Now, we unarmed. A lot of the decent guys, decent black dudes, we don't run around with guns, man. And there's a lot of us that do run with legal guns. Legally to carry. The white guy was lucky that he wasn't one of them guys who was also strapped. He was very lucky. That's why he's alive today. Because I'm sure that brother would squeeze off some shots on him too. So that's how I would have more likely deal with it, because I like assessing the situation real quick. And I know sometimes if I would have walked up on the scene where a guy smacking my wife, that's a whole different thing. I don't have time to really think about anything. I have to get into action real quick. And I got to stop this threat immediately. So I got to choke this dude out or knock him out or stomp him out. I got to do something to stop the attack on my wife, right? Now, and it goes the same for any other family members or whatever. If they're under attack, this is what you just have to do. You got to put your life on the line to protect them, right? This is my take of it, the way that I saw that, and I looked at that video over and over, and I'm trying to see where the man is being threatened, and he had plenty of time to sit on that ground, pull his weapon, think for about 3 seconds, should I not shoot? Okay. And then he decided to shoot, because he wasn't gonna let the black guy get away with that aggressive shocked him to his core. You know what I mean? Shocked him to his core, and he got shoved to the ground talking that disrespectful crap to a female, to a black female. Now I'm gonna tell y'all a quick story that happened some years ago when I was married. My ex-wife wanted to go out and, help earn a little extra cash. You know what I mean? So she decided to do the paper route in the morning. And I was like, all right, do it for a couple of weeks or maybe a month or something. Get some money in your pocket or whatever. Because all the money I was making was going to all the business. So, one morning, you gotta get up real early. I wasn't really cool with that because it's dark out. One morning, she's going to some neighborhoods that she's not familiar with driving in. And she had an altercation with some guy, white guy. And the guy called her a nigger. Rolling it down because she was throwing the papers, as far as she could in the driveways. So the guy yelled at her. I don't know what happened as far as the car situation. He claims something about her cutting him off or something. But it was wee hours in the morning though, you know what I mean? Before the sunrise, 5 in the morning, man, dark out. So the guy pulls up beside her and calls her a black B nigger. So she called him a white cracker nigga. Gave him the bird too, And she wasn't scared at that moment. But after that, she continued on her route. The guy followed her. So he zoomed past her real hard, like screeching his tires. And flipped his car, turned his car sideways and blocked her travel, her way of travel. So she had to literally stop her route, back up, turn around, and come back. So she quit that day. Now, here I am coming off the road, just hearing about this the day before. This happened the morning before I came home. So now I want to go through the neighborhood to see if she can spot the car. Now this is what I'm thinking now. Yeah, I'm ready for some action now because of what he did. Now this is what most men would probably do. Did we alert the police? Yes, we did. We alerted the police to let them know that this, and she described the car the best she could. She couldn't get the license plate, but she described the man the best that she could. Was anything really done about it? I doubt it. Okay? But it all, you know, it all went away and all that, but I understand how some of these guys out here, especially these racist white guys, how they're super aggressive with black women. Super, I mean over aggressive with black women. Because they know they can beat a black woman probably on a hand-on-hand thing. Not all black women, but some of them. And of course, if they have a weapon, which they all are allowed to carry, it seems, no matter how crazy they are, you know, of course they're going to be super, super aggressive. And then with a man, with a black man, when they approach a black man, they're more afraid. So that makes them go for their weapon quicker. They're scared of a good beatdown. They're scared of a real man, one-on-one beatdown. So of course, that's why they arm themselves as much as they do. Because on a physical one-on-one, most times, these racist white people cannot handle a strong black man. And that's a fact. Now, that's not why you have less black men that are not carrying, you know, it's because the laws are preventing it in a lot of ways. You know, we got to jump through loopholes and all that to carry, you know what I'm saying? Cross every T, dot every I. You know, we can't have any problems in our background. None, zero. Those nuts can have all kind of issues in their background and still giving a permit, carry permit, you know, and gun. So, you know, this is something we have to be mindful of constantly. When we go out of our homes, our safe haven, and we got to deal in the society, we have to keep in mind that this is the mentality of the system and the people who are being protected within the system. They will use every law. That's why they came up with that stand your ground law. Yeah, you're within your rights if you feel threatened to shoot a man fatally to death. They did that because they know most people that are armed in Florida, the majority legally armed would be the white men. Regardless, they don't care if they're racist or not. They just know that, you know, they passed the test. Some of them legally, some of them, you know, not legal. But they have their carry permit. They have weapons. Okay, fine. Stand your ground law is in effect. And if you have a confrontation with a man, more than likely, being that the racial tensions is the way that it is in the country these days, they're more than likely going to have a confrontation with a black man, right? Not all the time, but when it happens, if you feel threatened, this is what they're just saying. If you feel threatened, you can shoot and kill and get away with it under that law. See? So this is, you know, that law has to be defined a bit more, especially in this case, when the man was not constantly being a threat to him. The black guy stopped the threat to his wife. He got out and stopped the threat to his wife. And then put the threat on that guy in a split second when he pushed him to the ground. Get out of her face. Bam! Knocked him down. Backed off. Started to turn. Got shot. That is not standing your ground. Standing your ground is if a guy is jumping on you and he is relentless, like he's trying to kill you or beat you down to a pulp, then you have the right to pull your weapon and defend yourself fatally if necessary. That is the time you pull your weapon. Here's the thing that these people are not understanding. The people who are carrying, they feel like even in a small argument, even if you get pushed and the guy backs off, you still have the right to shoot and kill him. That's not right. That has to be defined in the law. That is not right. You are no longer under a threat at that moment unless the guy's following up. You got to know what that all means. These people are so delusional, they want to kill somebody so damn fast and bad that they want to kill anybody with any type of confrontations. And then cry that law. Self-defense law, so stand your ground law, stand your ground. I felt threatened. I really felt threatened. I didn't really want to kill him. I just felt like he was going to kill me. I'm afraid for my life. And then when they get out, they say, yeah, I killed a nigga. Yep, I shot him right in the chest. You know what I mean? They brag about it later. Because they got away. Yeah, the law works, man. Shoot, I shot that nigga. Yep, that nigga pushed me down. He thought he was going to get away with it. I know he was trying to get away because he started to turn around. So I shot his ass anyway. That's pretty much how it goes. And we have to be mindful of that. We have to know that they are armed and they are waiting for a situation. It don't matter if it's this big or yay big. They waiting on a situation to put a hot bullet in your butt. Especially in these states where they have stand your ground law. Okay? That's my rant for today. And I really, really hope that the lawyers that the family of the deceased man have chosen will fight the right way, relentlessly, to help that law be more defined. That is not correct. This particular situation is wrong. I don't care if you like what I'm saying or if you don't like it. If you're a racist mother sucker, you can kiss my you know what. I want to get real funky with it, but I gotta be respectful the best I can be. So I'm trying to be, composed about all this, man. I'm upset. I'm upset about this, man. And every person out there who is righteous within here and in here, you know what happened there. You saw the tape. You know that yeah, should the black guy have pushed him like that? Okay, I'll give you that. No, he probably should not have. But he was no more a threat after he pushed this clown to the ground. You feel me? He was not a threat anymore. He started to turn away when he saw the man pulling a weapon. And that alone should have told that man on the ground, yeah, I neutralized you. You may have got that push off, but I bet you won't do it again. Because he has the weapon, you see. But now that also is something we all females, you black females gotta remember. These guys out here who are carrying, they ain't got no problem getting in your face. We know that y'all like to mouth off, y'all like to show how strong you are, that you ain't scared of nobody, all that. But you have to assess the situation too. You know what I'm saying? You have to assess the situation and understand when a threat is about to be imminent to you. If there's a white man and he looks like he's got a hateful monotone to his voice and he's talking like he don't give a you know what about you and your family, especially if he's calling you nigga, then you might want to back off a bit. You know what I'm saying? Get yourself safe. You know what I mean? In this case, she was already parked and she was not going to hear this from this guy, and she started mouthing back at him. So the husband comes out and loses his life for protecting his wife. You know? So the laws out there, this law, not just out in Florida, if it's in other states, North Carolina, South Carolina, wherever the heck they are, they all need to be defined just a little more. There's got to be more of a definition under that law, which would be considered standing your ground, a legal thing to do, and at what point. You have to do that. You can't just put a law out there. Now, as you can see, these people are using these loopholes to kill people with. You know, that particular case, I don't think it was a justified stand your ground law shooting. I don't believe, it just wasn't. Bottom line, you know. Now, that's my rant. I'm gonna shut it off at this point. But that's what it is. And you know, God bless the family. I hope they get some justice in that. I hope that the guy who shot him, who decided to shoot him fatally, doesn't get away with that. Because that is not, he was not under a threat after the push. He was no longer under a threat after the push. Simple as that. So, y'all can disagree with it or agree with it. I don't give a fart. You know? If you agree with me, cool. If you don't, you know what to do. Alright. I'm out. That's my rant for the day. I hope I don't have to come back with another rant like that one. But as the world turns, you know, a lot of crazy crap happens. Alright. Peace and love, y'all. Treat people as you want to be treated. That's my motto. Peace out.